Welcome tonight. Thanks for buying in Metropol. We're really excited to see the project get to this stage. Tonight we'll go through a bit of a development update. We'll go through some finance options for you, what property management actually looks like, settlement timeline so none of you get stuck, and then some stuff on the customer portal. And we'll finish up with a Q&A. First of all, I'll hand over to Matthew Rasta. He's going to talk about the project.
Good evening, everyone. Just a project update here. So as we all can see, the project's coming along very, very nicely. We've taken most of the scaffolding off. There's about 92% the scaffolding is off, but very, very important. The structure is 100% done. We're just doing the fixtures and fittings at the moment. It's all looking very, very nice, and we're anticipating for completion mid-year.
Alright, so guys, I'm the National BDM for Moneylab. So I'm here with my director, Gareth, and Steph, our broker, over there. You can see it in the room. So anyone that's looking for a bit of advice with finance tonight, myself and the team will be working around for a chat after this. So the main thing I want to talk about tonight is we did a lot of work with GCT and high society clients when that settled, obviously one of the previous projects of Geocon. But we're really keen to start these buyers' nights from our side of things with finance a lot earlier, simply because the world we've lived in, obviously the last 12 or 18 months, a lot of people's life circumstances have changed through COVID, whether it's losing a job, change of jobs, had to spend more money on things, buying cars, whatever it is. And that can have a really big impact on your finance. So it's really important now, getting 4 or 5 months out from settlement, to start those conversations with your bank, with your broker, with us, hopefully, to assist you in those conversations. Because what we did find in the previous projects is a lot of clients come to us sort of with a month or 2 months to go, and it was too late. So there was, at times, that risked them times getting to settlement because they left their finance applications too late. They got hit with penalties, these sorts of things, because they didn't start their finance soon enough. So to everyone in the room, my recommendation would be with what's happened over the last 12 or 18 months is to get the communications flowing and start these conversations with your bank or with your finance or with our company, because there could be some things that have happened in your life that we could potentially do and implement over the next 3 to 4 months that could assist you with getting finance to make sure you settle on time with your property. So I'd really recommend opening those conversations at the moment. So our company, Moneylab, we specialise in off-the-plan finance. We've got a team of about 45 now, I think, Gareth, that is, and continually growing. We've got offices all the way up the eastern seaboard. So we are based out of Melbourne, but our team's always up in Canberra, nice and regularly to see anyone in person, meet over Teams, whatever's comfortable with you. So, but I would recommend starting these conversations now. It's a really important time. What we've gone through, let's make sure we start the conversations, get them going, and ideally what we all want is to settle your property on time and enjoy the lifestyle you're going to have at Metropol. So, but from my side of things, guys, that's it. I said our model's based on off-the-plan finance, so we're really confident we can support all you in the room and looking forward to having a lot of conversations with you. So we'll be hanging around tonight. Grab Gareth, Steph and myself. Happy to have a chat and hopefully assist you guys with your property.
Hi guys, my name's Hannah and I'm one of the directors of the Property Collective. So we are the people to talk to when you want to know about property management. So we're a relatively new brand in Canberra, but backed by a highly experienced team. I'm also the president of the Real Estate Institute, the ACT, so very involved with government around legislative changes and trying to drive good things for landlords in the territory. Property management is considered to be a pretty simple task, but it's actually not. It's very complex, especially when you're talking about trying to rent in a new development, because it's essential that we don't have a race to the bottom and we maintain the returns for our investors in Metropol. So we have a 10-point strategy to find tenants for you. We've got a bit of an overview about how we actually go about finding tenants while we make sure we uphold good returns for you, and also quality tenants. But the good news is for you guys, any investors in the room, Canberra is the highest rents in the country, and we have a vacancy rate of 1.1%. So there are lots of tenants looking for property, and there is certainly not enough property available right now. So if you're thinking of renting, even if you're interested in what your apartment might achieve for rent, please come and have a chat with us, or obviously our details are available on the screen as well. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Moon. You've heard from the guys, you're obviously all familiar with the off-the-plan buying process, but it's just a quick snapshot of where you are. It's been a long while, I suppose. We've all been very patient. The goalpost is pretty near though. So we're talking about the most important thing today is to focus on finance. What that also means, or what's that meant for me in the past, is to start curbing in those Uber Eats, receipts as well. So it's those sort of things. After finance, obviously construction is still underway. As you can see, number 4, we're about 6 months out. what you'll expect after that, once the completion is done, we've got pre-settlement viewings that will commence. There's a valuation process that flows on from there, and that's when you're starting to actually get ready for your settlement process. Once the settlement is complete, move in, renting out, or moving in commences. So you don't need to remember all of this. We've got a pretty robust communication program. So main thing I'd ask for is to make sure all of your email addresses are updated. We do send out monthly email updates or newsletters advising on where construction is at. But as in the next couple of months, we'll also commence explaining what you need to focus on and where the attention needs to be. So I'll just show you very quickly some of the customer service elements that we've got. So we've got a team dedicated to help you get to completion and then move in as well, complete your settlement process. You might be already familiar with some of the updates that have been hitting your inboxes. That will soon translate into what you need to do next, so we'll keep you updated with that. We'll also have a settlement guide that will be linked to one of these emails in the near future. The guide pretty much explains everything you need to know, so I'd encourage you to thoroughly read. And if you have any questions, the customer service team is available to answer those well ahead of settlement commencing. 3 months out from completion, we'll have another event like this, and we'll get a little bit more granular about what you need to know next. That will involve things like the conveyancing process, what you need to know there, any actions that you need to take. We also will have a customer portal. Now the customer portal you can see up the top here. This will house all of those important documentation that you need, warranties, all of the construction related elements. So everything is in the one spot. You'll be given a login and you can access all of that. So rest assured you're in good hands. We'll look after you, take you through completion, keep you updated along the process. When there are, when there are a few delays in construction, obviously that is to be expected, but we'll keep you advised. This is just a quick screen grab of a website as well, so you'll get links. You'll get a link to this. The website gives you quick access to things like how do you book your blinds, how do you get your rental property listed, download all of the documentation. So you'll also see this in the next few months. All the emails that we send to you are also housed in the same place, so you'll see them in that section. And then if you have any inquiries, there's a form to fill out. Hopefully that will keep you informed and carry out the whole process seamlessly. I'll hand it back to Elliot and he'll run some Q&As. Thank you.
Who will be the strata manager for Metropol?
The settlement guide will have all of those details for you. They usually go through a bit of a process in selecting them, so we're still a fair bit out, so you'll know when you, well before you actually need to know. At the 3 months out event, we will actually have our strata representative here. They will give you a lot more detail on all of those sort of details. They'll explain what they look after, what you need to discuss with them, what sort of queries you take to them. So we'll have our conveyancing team, our strata team, our team from the blinds company, all of us again here as well.
The My Geocon web portal thing, in regards to the stages we saw in the You Are Here screen, do you know when that comes online or how early before? Is that after settlement that we get access to it once you're locked in as? Most
likely around your pre-settlement viewing stage, somewhere round about there. That's when the documentation starts to come through. So that's probably the best time.
Do Moneylab also hook owners or investors up with insurance companies?
Absolutely. Yeah, so like house and contents, any other types of insurance in particular? Sorry, who's asking the question? Hi, yeah. So yeah, we can do landlord insurance, all that kind of stuff. So, and we can do it at the same time as your mortgage too. So if you want to look at your options, again, as Hamish already said, 90 days out is a really good time to start assessing that stuff, and we can go through the whole package for you at once.
A question regarding the parking spot allocations, has that been done yet, or?
So car parking will be part of strata, and at the 3 month update you'll know more information about that too.
With the 3 month check-in look and the valuation and all of that, the only value is going to be the ones organised by Moneylab, or are we able to do we have pre-warning about when we can get other valuers in there as well?
No, it's just based off whoever you go through for finance will organise the valuation access. So again, so just whenever you need to get access. So from our side of things, the main reason we're saying to start now, as my point before, is that we've seen it too often lately over the last 12 or 18 months that people's life circumstances have changed a lot. And unfortunately, we see a lot of the downfalls through this period where people's, have lost their jobs or changed their money, whatever sorts of things, or they've had a child or their life circumstance for whatever reason. It has a big impact on finance. So, but we definitely can see from our end, we could have had an impact on this and actually saved quite a bit of finance in the past. If we actually had the option to get in front of clients 6 months out, we could put some plans in place to make sure you're looked after, change a couple of things in your life, and ideally what we all want is for you to settle on the property. So we'll really be on this with Moon tonight to start these early because it's a different world we live in now. So just for everyone in the room, my advice would be to really start covering your finance stuff now. If you're in a strong position, great, just tick that box. If some things have changed in your life, let's start the open conversations now. You may not submit your application at the moment or do anything like that. It just simply opens the communication with our team. And if we have to change anything in your life, let's do it now so we can make sure you settle on your property. So that would be my main advice for anyone in the room.
Do we have a definite answer of when it's going to be completed as of yet? Or because essentially it's 90 days that we look forward to for a pre-approval and that lapses as well. You don't, because it says first quarter of 2021, now we're being informed maybe May, June, we're still 4 months away when, because as you guys said, 92% of the scaffolding is off, but interior work is still getting done. What are the expected delays?
Good question. We're planning for June, July, mid-year. As far as getting finance ready and pre-approved though,
so it's not so much getting about your pre-approval done, it's about you can just get the conversation started to get your finance or the team will go, yep, you're good to go. Then we'll submit the application through when we get advice from Elliot and the team that settlement's going to be pretty close, and then we'll submit it through so it doesn't obviously the 90 days lapses and we've got to go again and again. We'll obviously submit that when we feel ready and the clients are ready to be submitted through. We just want to cover everything off. So we won't, as I said, we won't submit any applications, it's just about getting all your information gathered. And then you can go, yep, you're looking obviously really solid at the moment. We don't need to do anything until closer to settlement. Exhibit B might be, hey, you've just, one of your partners stopped working, you've had a child, you've bought a car, you've gone overseas, bought a Ferrari, whatever it is. You need to change some things in your life to make sure you're ready to go in 6 months' time. That's put a plan in place to get you to this point. So
from a construction perspective, we'll be updating you every month so you'll know where you're at each step of the way and what progress is taking place. We're aiming for a mid-year completion.
So I just want to be as clear as possible on the last question. So you're saying construction's finished mid-year and then settlement will be how long after that?
We're aiming for mid-year. We're aiming for June, July. June, July, yeah. It's pretty impossible to give a definitive date 5 months out, yeah.
I'm just talking quite generally, but we've gone through some settlement processes recently. We've seen that post-settlement, it usually takes, post-completion, it's probably a month and a half after that you can start to expect to see settlement. All things going well. Weather is unpredictable. Sometimes those things come into play between now and the next few months. So I think the answer to your question will become very clear in the next 3 months, which will still give you a fair amount of time to to plan ahead. If you're moving in, to plan that as well. So all we can do at this stage is endeavour to make sure that we keep you up to date with as things are progressing.
Hey guys, thanks so much. It's a brewing up question that's sort of gaining a bit of steam. So just to give you a little bit of context, the construction separates out into obviously the structure, and so we've topped out on the building, which is a massive milestone, and as Moon mentioned, the scaffolding's coming down, so we're really pleased to have achieved that milestone. And then correctly, as you've identified, sir, we are going through the fit out of the actual internal building. As Moon said, there is quite a lot of work to do in that process, and we certainly have a history of delivering as quickly as possible. Between now and then, there are a lot of milestones that we need to work through, and so we're not able to provide a definitive date. What we can do is throughout the process, between now and then, as we achieve those milestones, for example, the certificate of occupancy, we'll advise you, and that will give you a better indication as to when the settlement will be called. So once the certificate of occupancy is issued, which is the next milestone, roughly we're anticipating at this point in time we're scheduled for April, but we're indicating to you May so that we've got a bit of a buffer there. Once that certificate's obtained, we'll then go through a 6 to 8 week process to register the units plan. Once the units plan's registered, we'll notify you formally through our solicitors, and then you've got 3 weeks to settle. So I appreciate it's a bit of a vague sort of indication, but at the end of the day, that's what we're working on.
I know that the names of the apartments changed halfway. Does that mean all the services like the swimming pool is all shared now, or is it still exclusive to Building 3?
So yeah, there still will be individual, just like previously. So Building 1, Building 2, and Building 3, the amenities will be for those buildings. Because it was a bit confusing having 3 different names, so it's just more simple. Metropol, Building 1, Building 2, Building 3, but everything else stays exactly the same as previous.